Hey everybody, welcome again. This is the GGRated.net live show, episode 16, and I am your host, the Iceman. Joining us once again, all the way back from his awesome vacation in the Mediterranean, we have Hydra. How's it going, man?
I'm going, but I'm checking the stream and I can hear a lot of echo. Like, I can hear you twice. Oh, yeah.
I think it's your audio, is it not?
Well, if no one complains, it's on my end and I'm all good with it. I can deal with it just easily. But I'm pretty sure someone is going to comment on it.
Okay, it sounds like we're getting an echo. Let me restart the stream again here.
I can hear it.
Still getting echo?
Okay. Okay, might be on my end. Just ignore me because you have Swag Attack saying that it's all fine.
I think it's the echo when we're getting you joining in.
Yeah, quite possible. Just go for it. Don't worry. Let's have fun.
Alright, well, let's keep this thing rolling here before it crashes on our head. But, yeah, Hydra's back from vacation. Tell us, how was your vacation, Hydra? It was good?
Too short. Too short. Just was really fun. I mean, cruise on the Mediterranean must be awesome, and it is awesome. I can confirm it. But I mean, you need at least like 3 weeks, I would say. I kept jumping on the water, you know, and just slowing everyone down. But then they will jump with me as well, and it was really, really fun. But I need to try it again in a month or so. I need to convince those guys to go on the boat again because, well, I know nothing about sailing. I know everything about tagging along. You know, I just want to go and someone to take me. But yeah, it was cool.
Yep. Also joining us is our good friend Sebastian with some GG-rated epic news. Sebastian, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody what's going on in your life?
Well, thank you very much, Iceman. Indeed, we all enjoy water sports as much as any guy, and I'm glad Roger had some. But me, I've been busy casting, and that has resulted in some very interesting prospects. Shall I go for it now, Iceman, or shall we extend it a bit further?
I guess we'll just extend it and keep the
I have some
suspense
epic
rolling.
news, people. I have some epic news that's good for StarCraft, this show, and particularly all of those who can speak Swedish as well.
Definitely. I can say that personally, I'm having a hard time containing this news because it's just incredible, and it's really awesome to hear that you have this news. But the whole team is back again. Hydra's back from vacation. Sebastian's here with epic news, and I'm ready to roll, and I'm pumped more than ever. And we want to give a special shout out to some friends of ours over at the Rush Zone. You guys can check them out at rush-zone.com. They are an esports gaming community that is dedicated to bringing you live streams and media from the Battlefield 2 community, and they're also preparing to set up streams and stuff for the new and upcoming game Battlefield 3. They're a great group of guys. They're really friendly community, and the best part is that they're dedicated to bringing everybody esports news, which is really awesome. And they've been helping us out and helping us get our casting software tweaked. Still not there, but they're working with us, and really a bunch of great guys. So make sure you guys stop over and check them out over at Rush-Zone and give them a shout out and show them some love because they're balling over there. But I mean, so much epic news. Are we going to be able to contain ourselves and bring everybody the latest and greatest StarCraft 2 news from the past week?
Of course. But we'll go into the epic news as well.
Yeah, definitely. And Hydra, it's good to have you back because we felt a little bit lonely last week not having your voice to lead us through all the Korean happenings over in the GSL community.
Yeah, and making a lot of noise and having people telling me, oh my God, you talk too much, let the other guys speak. Yeah, I know it. But I'm just going to break all the news to all of you guys. Incoming, the epic news. Jaedong and Flash are going to play StarCraft 2. Yeah, that's it. That's the news that we had to give to you guys. Now keep going. Yeah. Go for the next one.
All right, let's go on with the GSTL finals that happened. I'm going to get that media up on stream. And Hydra, why don't you start telling us a little bit about the GSTL that just took place for the month of May.
Yeah, well, I haven't followed much of it because, as you know, I was on a boat, but still I tried to follow it the best I was able to. And the moment that I actually sat down and took a look at the matches was really close to the finals, or was on the finals. I don't know. I like the Team League. I didn't felt this one to be as epic as the previous one. I'm not sure if it's related with the fact that Incredible Miracle didn't get a spot, you know. It felt like something was missing there. But still, I don't need to focus on that. On what I should focus is on the fact that Slayers took the win. And what can I say? Slayers' Boxer team is just slowly growing, slowly rising, having some solid players there. And, well, they took the victory here on the GSTL. But we might be hearing more of them in the future. Keep in mind that at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, they have only one single player on Code S. But for the next season, I'm pretty sure there will be more. And with the Slayers Boxer backing them up and trying to pass on the legacy, you know, teaching them what to do, how to behave, they should be able to behave and handle the pressure playing live every day or at least every week. We might be seeing some stars on the rise here. They took the final win. I was quite kind of curious and wanted to see that Zerg player that you can see there playing on the last game. Not the last one, the second one to last. Dongrai Gu. I'm pretty sure that some of you guys recognize that name. He was for quite a long time #1 on the Korean ladder, and he played very, very well. He's a solid Zerg player, but might be a star on the rise. I mean, Slayers Boxer apparently grabbed the guy or tried to get him on his side. But he did quite well here on this finals. Also, on the early stages of the GSTL of this season, if I'm not mistaken, he had an all kill or close to an all kill. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think you are correct.
Yeah, I think it was like on one of the first rounds. He did close to an all kill. I can check that meanwhile on Team Liquid. But yeah, I mean, the guy is recognized for being one of the first to be able to hold his ground on #1 in Korea on the Korean ladder. He was there for a long time. I think he was one of the first players to reach the 4,000 points as well on the previous season before the reset. And there was a lot of people asking, where is this guy going to show up and try to show us some of his skills? And, well, here he is. He was just playing here on the finals as well and trying to show us that Zerg is solid. You just need to know how to play it. You need to get used to the way that the race plays and the fact that you can react, and basically is a reactionary race. And probably might be having another Monster Zerg incoming soon.
Definitely. So keep your eyes open for Dongrai Gu, and any improvements in his game or anything that we're going to see coming up is going to be interesting to follow. And congrats to Slayers. I mean, 5-4 victory there. Pretty good. And as you said, Hydra, they're clawing their way maybe into a higher position and more into the spotlight. Any thoughts, Sebastian, on the current happenings in the GSTL?
Well, I must admit that I haven't followed it as closely as Hydra, who managed to do so despite being in the middle of the sea, in the Mediterranean. Yeah. But that is because I've been focusing on my own casting duties. But I did check up on the results, of course, and saw some brief highlights. And I can only agree that we saw a very nice showcase of Zerg, and that always makes me happy to hear. Zerg is conceptually the hardest race to play. I think most would agree. The intricacy of it, it's less intuitive, perhaps. And it's perhaps most difficult to be the very best as a Zerg player. And this is just lovely news. And to see Slayers do so well, that just warms my Brood War heart.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you missed any of the action, go check out the VODs, because GSL always comes through with some unique surprises, whether it may not be the best matches, but there's still some cool stuff to check out. So I definitely want to see that MMA match, because it seems that MMA just seems to be clutch for Slayers when they need them in these team events. So I'm going to have to check out MMA's play there. But we're not done leaving the Korean scene. We have something epic going on as well, and I'm talking about the Super Tournament that has been going on there. This just started recently, and all the players in here are big-name superstars, so Super, I think, lives up to its name. And I'm going to get up the round of 64 Group A results here, and Hydra, why don't you take it away once again?
Well, I was watching these matches today. I still only started with the first series. I am MVP versus Creator Prime, and it was quite interesting. I really liked it. I was actually wondering if I am MVP would just trample all over Creator Prime, I mean, Creator is just showing up now. He started to have a bit of visibility, but I mean, he's clearly a work in progress inside the Prime team.
Mm-hmm.
And I am MVP is a solid Terran. I mean, everyone knows the guy. He has championships under his belt, and he's been doing very, very well. Though he had a slump in the past, he was struggling a bit on Code A, but it didn't last long. He just stayed a season on Code A and just rise to Code S once more. And well, on this specific matchup, I was watching it like, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. I was finishing the third game. Was really, really cool, very interesting, some close matches. The first one was fairly standard, but the second and third one ended up being quite long games and interesting with a lot of back and forth action, with MVP just finally taking the victory. I think that on the third game, the ace match, the match lasted something like 40 minutes, so it was quite long, to the point where you just have your bases exhausted and something. But yeah, Creator wasn't able to resist I am MVP, and they took the win here 2-1, as you guys can see. Then you had Slayer's Ganzi facing against Butterfly Effect. These two players are still, I don't know, they're not very well recognized by the community yet. You already had Butterfly Effect playing on some early stages of the GSL several months ago. Ganzi has been showing up on Code A, trying to get a spot, or at least get a bit of sun shining on him, a bit of spotlight. But for now, he took the win here, a clear win over Butterfly Effect. And he's going to be able to keep going on the Super Tournament. Let's see if he gets a bit more visibility. I don't think he's a very good Terran for now, okay? At least at this high-ranked games, you know? He is a solid Terran, obviously, but we're talking about the best of the best facing here. And based on that, I think he's not on par with, for example, I am MVP. Then we had Czech Prime facing against Supernova. Everyone saw Supernova on the previous GSL season. He's a solid, solid Terran. One of the big surprises from Team Old Generation StarCrafters, Team OGS, because they kind of came out of nowhere, you know? He showed up playing on the GSL, did very well, and now he just has a bit of reputation on his side. He's a monster Terran, very solid, and he defeated Czech Prime. What can I say? Just feel a bit sad because Czech Prime was one of my favorite Zergs when StarCraft 2 came out, and he's just slowly dwindling down and fading away. He just can't hold his ground. I think that he just stopped learning, you know, stopped evolving, while the rest of the community kept upgrading and evolving their builds and strategies, and well, 2-0 for Supernova here. And then last but not least, we have a monster Terran from Team Slayer, Slayer's MMA. I think he deserves a spot on Code S, by the way, and I think you're going to see a lot of him there. And he faced against Fox Lin. This series was quite close, by the way. I know he had at least some surprising moments on the final match, with Fox Lin trying to pull out some snipes, plenty of drop play as well. And MMA still was able to take the win over Lin and show that he is worthy of his Code S spot. And well, Fox Lin, I don't know, he's been around for quite a while, but this team, the We Made Fox team, doesn't have a single player that you might say, okay, this guy is a beast at StarCraft 2. As you guys know, there's a lot of people from Team We Made Fox that transition from Warcraft 3 to StarCraft 2, and I think they're having a rough time. They need more time, or they need new players, I don't know.
Yeah, it seems that they're sprinkled with mediocrity, and there's, as you said, there's no one single superstar like IM or OGS is just packed chock full of superstars. But
yeah,
I mean, they just need some more time to develop, or they need to like get together and really rethink their strategy, because if they want to make it in the long run, they're gonna have to rethink some things here.
Yeah, I think so.
Any philosophy would you like to add to that, Sebastian? I know you plenty of gamer insight. Share with us.
Well, again, I must admit to the G-rated crowd that given my recent exploits, of which I'll tell you in a little while, I'm a bit behind on my watching, and this is a tournament that I feel bad for not having checked out just yet. But building on what you guys have been saying, it's interesting to see this super tournament and GSL sort of branching out and consistently trying to put more surface area onto both its fans and all the many players, giving them more opportunities to shine or to fail for that matter. And here we see some names that have been with us for a while, and some new ones like Butterfly Effect. I think I remember him from the first season of the GSL that I watched very intently. And then we see a new Creator Prime that you said, Haida, was a bit of a work in progress. It's this is a very volatile time in StarCraft 2 history, and whilst I haven't followed this tournament yet, it is. It so much is changing already. We see old StarCraft 2, StarCraft 1 pros switching over, some having a hard time, some seems to breeze through it. There was an article in Team Liquid recently, The Big Elephant in the Room or something it was called, saying that like Nesty and MVP and even MC, they were not S-class whatsoever in Brood War, and we have yet to see the true giants do the leap. All these things that we see now, the upsets, people that won GSLs going down into Code A, this is sort of the early days kind of syndrome that we see, and it is quite chaotic. Sometimes that's why I don't watch it, because if you haven't been in the loop for a while, then you don't know who's best right now. I'm surprised that MVP is perhaps up and the other day is down. It is chaotic, and you need to have Roger's job in order to keep up with it, but that's why I'm happy to have him back, and I thoroughly enjoy what's happening right now in StarCraft 2, because it's anarchy. Everybody's trying to shoot for the stars and grab a title, and anyone can do it, it seems like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was extremely well put, and I mean, well, yeah, of course we have not reached the Brood War stability level where we had the definitive gaming giants who would just run the league match after match, it would seem, but it's kind of nice right now to see the whole StarCraft 2 community just growing and seeing who's developing and who's springing up and just being part of the entire movement, all the way from the beta experience to when this is going to be a full-fledged esport that everybody is playing, and we have the absolute giants, the tiers are all set up, the teams are there. I mean, it's an experience that people should be a part of if they're interested in any RTS or esports in general, because StarCraft 2 is quite entertaining to watch, even if you're not completely familiar with what's going on. I mean, right now is a fun period of time to be in, as you were saying. It's everybody's grabbing for dominance in the scene, so I think it's something that's very volatile, as you said, but plenty of growth and options available, and just got to stay tuned and grab onto what we can and hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Let me just add a bit of a couple of comments here, probably while you pass on to the next screen, which is the matches for tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys follow this, but there's a fairly long debate on Team Liquid about this super tournament. There was a lot of invites being thrown out to a lot of foreign players, and basically everyone refused. The only two foreign players that are going to play on this super tournament will be Huck and Jinro, basically because they're living there and they're committed to the Korean pro scene. But there was invites being thrown out all the way, as far as I know, all of the top European gamers, all the North American gamers, all of them got invites, and everyone said no, they will refuse because it clashes with some matches on MLG, and I'm not going to fly back and forth and be jet-lagged until I die just to show up on the GSL Super Tournament and get wiped out on the first round, basically because I'm too tired to even focus. And you end up having a lot of Korean pro gamers that are quite good, but it misses a lot of the international scene here, you know? Mm-hmm. And an opinion that I have, at least for now, for these early stages of StarCraft 2, I mean, the game has like 1 year old now, is that the foreign scene, the international scene, is much solid, much stronger than what you had previously on Brood War. At least at this stage. Things might change in the future, I don't know. But what I mean by this is, there are a lot of players from North America and Europe that would be able to stand their ground against some of the players, some of the names that you can see on this list. And they're not there because basically you have a lot of conflicts between tournaments and people don't want to fly around like mad and like stay a whole month in Korea only playing GSL, and then if you get eliminated, you're just stuck there. You know, and then the lag is just mad to play on the North American servers, on the European servers, so you can't even perform well on the online tournaments and so on. And yeah, I think that's something that needs to be sorted out in the future. Maybe a broader organization that might be able to synchronize the calendar so we don't have big events clashing against each other. I don't know, but something will have to be done, or else you're going to be missing all the big names in Europe and North America playing on this super tournament of GSL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, things in Korea right now, it's a much greater risk and reward situation, whereas outside of Korea, things are more normalized. I mean, here in North America, we have NASL going on, the IPL Season 2, MLG, as you were stating, although they are starting to work more with the GSL scene, but still, more opportunity in places outside of Korea to make easier money, I would say, whereas going through this steep list of hard players and then, maybe you don't get anything out of this, especially with the jet lag, as you were saying, you can get cleaned out pretty easily.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it makes sense to me for people to give that as their reason. And I mean, we got to root for Jinro and Huck now, since those are the foreign guys in there, and they've dedicated themselves to the Korean scene. So hopefully they can show us what's really up. But let's move on and let's talk about the matches that are going to take place tomorrow in the Super League. We have OGS Inca taking on Slayers Ryung, MVP Violet versus OGS The Wind, TSL Rain versus MVP Keen, and OGS Jukdujung versus AnyProPrime.we. Gentlemen, any thoughts on these matchups that are going to take place? Any predictions? We'll start with you, Hydra.
Good question. I do see Inca here. As you guys seen on the previous GSL season, he was doing fairly well until Nasty showed up in front of him and told him, no, 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 no Protoss. He's going to crush my queen, and just completely destroyed, obliterated Inca with 4-0 on those finals. It was painful to watch, but still a very good lesson. Ryung is a good member from Slayers. I already commented that on previous episodes of the GG Rated, that even the players inside the Slayers house say that he is one of the best. Then you have Violet. He's been doing fairly well as a Zerg, but still a work in progress. He needs to rise to the occasion and show us some big matches. And they might have a possibility here, a chance of getting a bit more visibility, because he's going to be facing against OGS The Wind. He's one of the coaches on Team OGS, but he keeps showing up on these tournaments, meaning that he's going to be able to balance his training schedule with teaching other people and managing the OGS house, and that's a sign of a very well focused and dedicated person. Then I don't know, MVP Keen and TSL Rain, it isn't a match I'm hoping to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know, TVT is not my favorite thing ever, and I don't know, Rain and Keen might be someone that might be rise to the occasion one day. I don't think it's still ready. And Rain already been on top of his game, and I think he's in kind of a slump going down. Then you have on the last match, AnyProPrime, very well-known Protoss player. He's been on the GSL for a long, long time. You can call him a frequent flyer if you want. And then you have Jukdujung. I don't know if you guys remember that name. Now he's OGS Juktu. He's not on that young team anymore. But I remember him playing on the early stages of the GSL, and then he kind of faded away. Not sure if he's ready to show up again. He's going to have a big matchup here. He's going to have to face against AnyProPrime. And though AnyProPrime is not like the finest Protoss player ever, he's a solid one playing in Korea, and he might be having his hands full. I guess we're going to have to wait and see tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Sebastian, what are your thoughts on the players that are going to be showing up tomorrow?
The players that we see here, well, OGS Inca, as I'm fond of bringing up whenever I get the chance. I got to meet him at last DreamHack. He's a solid player. Is he among the best? Well, what we've seen lately would imply not quite. Then again, OGS The Wind is a super dude in his own right, but he cannot be said to be a fully practiced player. I'm too out of the loop to make any serious predictions, but I mean, TSL Rain will always be Rainbow from the good old days for me. So all I got is hope. But again, to me, it comes down to subjective measures these days, and that's again part of the problems. But there's being so much StarCraft around these days. I love to watch these matches, but there are so many others around as well. But I'm going to put my money on TSL Rain just because I really want him to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inca hopefully can perform a little bit better than what we saw in the final, where he got basically he was used to mop the floor by Nesty, and I'm really cheering for Wind in this group. He's like my hero. I don't know why. I just really love the guy. I think he's really cool. So I'm going to be cheering for him, and the others, I guess, meh. I'll just pay attention to see what happens to the results, but not too interested really. But whoever wins out of those guys, I'll be happy, I guess. But that's enough with the Korean scene. Let's move on to fonder waters, closer to my shore, and I'm talking about things that have been going on in the NASL for the past week. This is NASL Week 6, and I guess I'll start reading, and then Hydra, would you like to take over the reading, or Sebastian, either one of you?
Now, just you know what you can do? Just show the results there so people can check them out, and you're just gonna slowly comment on them. I want to make a special comment to one game that happened. I think it was last night. It was an old rivalry from Korea. EG Idra against OGS Zenio on a ZVZ they played last night. You guys watched that one?
I actually didn't. I was studying last night.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to comment just a bit here on the results. As you can see, you had Kiwikaki going over TLO. Congratulations to Artosis. He won a match. Woohoo!
Woo! Yay!
Yeah,
Artosis.
He actually did quite well. He defeated Grubby.
Yeah.
I mean, he defeated Grubby. It's kind of good. It's a PvP. It's always a bit volatile. But as you guys know now, with the changes on the last patch, you don't have that 4-gate timing anymore. It messes up a bit with your timings. You need to adapt to that. But Artosis did good enough to just crush Grubby. Congrats to him. Moro over Vive 2-0. You had Sheth, one of the Zerg players from North America that is getting really popular now because of his live stream, and he's such a nice guy. He defeated Moon. Rainbow went over Phoenix. Insnare over QXC. Moman defeated In Control 2-1. Show over Cruncher. So Cruncher is now getting some defeats, meaning that the haters are loving this, you know? Yeah. All the Cruncher haters, yeah, they're just saying awesome. Then we have favorite player. Then we have my favorite player ever, July, defeating Dark Force 2-0 on the ZVZ. And White
That was beautiful.
Grandpa
I watched that, actually. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Grandpa Toss defeating TT1. Sebastian, please comment a bit on this one.
Beast from the East.
I actually watched both July and White Raw, these matches, as well as some later ones, Nanova versus Nada. But yes, I do actually take the time to watch more NASL these days because there's so much epic StarCraft around. So no matter where you go, you'll see some good stuff. I just like that it, for me as an on-demand viewer, I rarely, if ever, get the chance to watch anything live. It's just very neatly packaged, and I like that about the NASL. So big props for them. But July versus Dark Force, CVC, it's a very difficult matchup to cast, you know, not to mention playing. I have actually not released yet a CVC on my own channel, but it's so fearsome and much more interesting than Terran versus Terran or Protoss versus Protoss. And here we simply saw superior decision making in July. I mean, I think he was bested by QXC in an earlier incarnation, and then I felt a bit bad for him. But here we saw him truly being the god of war, who's got the experience and the mechanics that can just defeat any young Zergling from Germany. That was God of War stompage, and that's just what we love to see. And then again, on the other hand, we saw Canadian Protoss player TT1, who's an old Brood War legend, as well as White Raw. And that's a whole different game, you know, Protoss versus Protoss compared to Zerg versus Zerg. And again, the sort of same dynamic came true. White Raw just had a superior game sense and used the sort of special tactics that we all know and love so much to its utmost advantage. I cannot quite recall the exact moves at this point in time, but I remember the Crevasse game was very back and forth, and it was very small things that White Raw managed to take into his hand and just snowball out of control. Well worth watching, well recommended matches, and I was happy I managed to catch them. White Raw truly being on top of StarCraft 2 these days, and that's more than I expected of him, to be honest, that he could transition so well, truly make a career out of StarCraft 2. It's just beautiful to see.
Definitely. Let's move on with the next set of results. We have Straylock facing against DDE, DDE beating him out 2-1, Squirtle beating Slush 2-0, Moonglade beating Hey Pro 2-0. Sorry, Sebastian. Hey Pro gets another loss.
Yeah, well, too bad.
Yeah. Axlav beating Kawaii Rice 2-0. Nada beating out Naniwa. Woohoo. Go Nada.
Woohoo! I will always cheer for Nada, no matter who he beats.
Definitely. Love Nada. Can't get enough of Nada.
Yeah. I actually watched this one. Nada against Naniwa
Hmm.
was quite
Same.
interesting. But I mean, Nada took the clear win there. He played very well. But both of those games were fairly long with Naniwa trying to resist. Quite awesome to watch. I watched that series.
Yeah, it was really interesting, especially with Naniwa's just been seems on fire lately, and to see uh, Naniwa clash with such a old school hero such as Nada, I mean, epicness ensued, and Nada showed why he's the Korean master. But
Yeah,
let's
a
move on with some
boss.
more results. Yeah, exactly, the
Yeah.
boss.
Yeah, the boss. And keep in mind that people always comment, and I already heard, for example, Idra mentioning this a lot of times, that players playing from Korea always fight against the lag. There's a lot of latency issues, but still, he was able to fight against Naniwa on those conditions.
Hmm.
Obviously, Naniwa was playing from Europe to the North American servers. He will have latency, but probably less.
Yeah,
But it was enough for him to take the win, so congrats.
yeah. Kudos to Nada, definitely. Moving on with our
Definitely.
next set of results, we have Select beating Ace 2-0, Stall Life beating out Cats 2-0, Rhett destroying Machine 2-0.
Go Reds!
Yes, Rhett. Goody beating Braddock 2-1, and MC beating Hasuabs 2-1.
Yeah.
And Hydra, just give a
Oh.
shout out to Hasuabs. We love hearing you say his name.
Shout out to Hasu Hobbs, who he owns. Well, he didn't own on this one; he got owned. But
Yeah.
well, it wasn't owned. I actually watched this match, and it was fairly close.
Yeah, good
Some
set of
interesting
matches.
matchups. Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting to see the way that now the Protoss players are slowly adapting to their new world. You know, all of a sudden you can't just forgate everything. You just need to do something different. I casted a game last night, Spanishua against Liquid Tyler, and Tyler did a completely different opening. I mean, he's just adapting. He didn't even went for Warp Gate anytime soon, just much later in the game.
Hmm.
And it was interesting to watch this one. Hasu Hobbs, as you guys know, has been doing really well, especially on the TSL, and having him facing here against one of the GSL champions was awesome to watch. Just a pleasure.
Definitely. Let's move on with the last set of results here. Sen versus Liquid Tyler. Sen winning 2-0. We have Druby facing Pain User and winning 2-0. Boxer versus Sake 2-0. And Mana versus Cloud 2-0. Then, as was previously mentioned, Idra versus Zenio. This is a clash back from the early confrontations we had in the GSL, and Zenio just made Idra crumble with a 2-0 victory there. But whenever I get to see Idra and Zenio play, it's gets the blood tingling, the blood running, because you know it's going to be an exciting matchup.
Yeah.
You mean you get contaminated?
But
No, I mean it's basically as you guys know, they have a quarrel since the days of GSL
Hmm.
when Idra was in Korea. I remember Zinio on interviews mentioning that every time he faced Idra on the ladder, Idra was always rude to him and offensive, and he didn't like him. And then one day he took a win over Idra on the GSL, and you could see the cameras filming Zinio, and he's just making a movement inside his booth, like threatening to slap Idra.
Yeah,
And
give him the
well, since
backhand.
then there's kind of a quarrel between them. I watched these matches; they were really cool. Even being ZVZ, I know that people are not big fans. At least most of people don't like this mirror matchup. I do like it, and I would like to just add a couple of torch these two players just a little bit, okay? Not going to be very rude. But Idra has been commenting for a long time, saying that, Korean players don't stand a chance. Korean players on my group, I'm going to dominate all of them. There's no chance whatsoever, especially with them playing with all the lag from Korea. Zinio, 2-0 over Idra. Another guy that you can see on this list that was trash-talking Slayer's Boxer. He made a kind of a comment saying that Slayer's Boxer shouldn't be on the NASL. He's too old. His game is way, way in the past. He should just be gone. It's Tyler. And, well, he got owned by Sen, and he got owned by Slayer's Boxer. So maybe he should consider his options as well.
Yeah. Thanks for that input, Hydra. It's always nice to hear
Yeah.
about the trash talking going on behind the scenes, and then when it comes down to game time,
Yeah.
if you get smacked up and you don't own up to your trash talk, I mean, it doesn't look too good. So,
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah.
yeah, exactly. But that wraps it up for NASL Week 6. If you guys missed out on any of the events, don't be bashful. Get the season ticket, and you'll be able to access the VODs yourself. And Sebastian said, if you have a busy lifestyle, the VODs are great for you because
Indeed.
not only will you be able to take care of regular life, you can also catch that epic StarCraft 2 action whenever you have some free time. But let's move on to another nugget that's one of the actual favorites of mine, and that is the IGN Pro League Season 2. Currently, right now, we're in the middle of the pre-qualifiers, or actually the qualifiers for the Season 2, and lots of names turning up. We're getting a nice spread of players, and real quickly, I'm just going to go through the list of current qualified players, and then I'm going to go over the list of qualified but not yet seeded. Currently qualified is E.G. Idra, Root Kiwikaki, Select, E.G. Axlav, Rokus Bratok, Dignitas Mers, Lelouch, MYM Cloud, Six Jacks Cocoa, RGI Fury, Dark Force, Maus Straylock, and as you guys can see on the list there, they have been seeded according to their performance there. But the seeds are not completely filled yet, as we do have a list of qualified players who have not yet been seeded, and this this list contains Dystar, Tarson, Phoenix, Stalife, Mana, Ret, Destiny, and Vibe. So we have a nice spread of players here, in my opinion, and last season of the IPL was just completely amazing in all form factors. And sounds like they're buffing and getting ready for Season 2 here with a sweet list of players, in my opinion, that should bring us some great action, especially with the way IPL presents everything to the crowd. Hydra, do you have anything to add to this?
Yeah, first of all, I'm quite happy to see that for the second season, and as IGN and IPL stated before, they're broadening their horizons. You know, on the first season, it was North American players. Now we see some Europeans getting joined in the fray. And it's nice to have this mix, because this is going to be ending up on some epic clashes between Europe and North America. We have some fairly solid players here on Europe, as you guys know. There's some very good ones in North America as well. And it's nice to see a variety, especially when I see names here like Liquid Red, Tarson, we have Mana. There's some nice, solid European players there, mixing up with Idra, Kiwikaki, Select. Obviously, Bratok is huge as well. We have Dark Force, Straylock. And then I think you're going to have more of a variety, you know, and more to compare. It's always interesting to see the different styles and how people play depending on the server they're playing in frequently. And I just have to congratulate IGN and IPL for their organization, and the quality of the first tournament that they did has some huge production values, and hopefully this is going to be a huge one. Let me just add a comment. I've been watching some of these qualifiers. They're really late here in Europe, but they always have a free live stream with those very crisp quality, and they've been helping out some of them less known, if I can call them like that. They're quite well known, but less known casters. They've been letting them cast the qualifiers, and I need to congratulate most of them. They've been doing quite a good job. I know that people like to torch casters and burn them, saying, oh my god, it's not Tastosas, I hate them. But yeah, they've been doing quite well. And for example, I watched Tarson getting qualified, I watched Mana, so yeah, quite good. I'm liking it. I'm just ready for the second season.
Yeah, definitely. Sebastian, I know that you've been testing the casting waters lately, and you're going to allude to that a little bit more, but anything you want to chime in about the quality of the IPL and how appreciative you might be of how they're reaching out to maybe some of the lesser-known casters to get them into the spotlight?
Well, no longer being simply an objective observer of casting, rather being a very participating one, I can definitely say that you do get a lot of flack, and sometimes it's constructive criticism. Usually it's just trolling. That is why I have yet to actually publish my work on Team Liquid. I know what would happen, but IPL. They do strive in a different direction, and they have realized that there's a lot of talent, a lot of hardworking people who can come together and put together an excellent show and a format. And it shows you don't need to go only to the trodden main path, you know, in order to put something together. Because StarCraft 2 has grown so much, and so many people have grown with it. People's ambition has been ignited by the scene. That was, you know, I remember the Brood War commentators, the Class Art, the Cholera, and indeed Diggity and Moletrap that are still around. Those are what brought me into the game, and those were excellent at what they do, especially Class Art. And So then after that, HD and Husky came and brought StarCraft 2 into the mainstream almost, and they deserve huge kudos for that. Tasteless and Artosis, sure, they're part of the community for a long time, but they were not the first, and they are necessarily not the best. There's so many talented people out there, and I like to think I have something to contribute. I know that you, Hydra, are definitely a talented caster, but IPL provides an opportunity. And that is all we need to make the most of it as casters, as community members. Give us something to work with, and we can put something together like this. IPL, they are a beacon for the future.
Definitely. Well said.
Let me just add a comment for Sebastian. I had like one of the best, funniest, awesome, epic bashes last week. I want to comment a thumbs down on one of my videos, one of my casts. And the reason I got a thumbs down and he said he disliked my videos was because he wasn't able to move the map as he pleased. He wanted to move the map around and see by himself because my camera wasn't good enough. And he said, I don't like your VOD because I can't move the map around.
Oh my.
Yeah. Oh, you just can't escape it, can you?
Oh,
yeah, it's just brilliant. I love it.
Hydra, what's wrong
Anyway,
with
go
you?
on. I'm sorry.
You can't cater to the morons on the internet as well as the competent people.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I just keep casting and enjoying it. Never mind.
Yeah. But,
well, if you don't have trolls, you don't have anything to bring, so...
Yeah.
Of course.
But definitely IGN, Pro League, doing some awesome stuff. I really appreciate it that they're bringing some other casters into view here. So great stuff from them, and I'm just going to be paying attention and looking forward to all the news and upcoming events and matches that are going to be happening here. And I'm looking forward to when the main events start. But that's enough with the IPL. Let's move on to Stars War. The Stars War hasn't been getting as much love as it probably deserves because it's a really well done event as well. And plenty of action and good gameplay going on there. And we have some pretty exciting results here from the round of 16, day 1 and 2. Hydra, why don't you carry us through there for the round of 16? And then I'll have Sebastian do the round of 8 after that.
Yeah, I'm just going to add a short comment and probably going to repeat it on the end of this. Stars War, it's a big event in China. It involves a lot of the top players there. You guys know that StarCraft 2 was just released, or I think it's still on beta stage in China now. But it's a huge country, has a lot of gamers. They had some big names on Warcraft 3 back in the days, also in Brood War. And this is a big event with some of the top gamers in the whole world, and people are just passing a bit on the side. I don't think this event was properly advertised, in my modest opinion. What I need to say is, all the VODs, everything is ready to be watched for free on IC Cup. You can search for IC Cup on YouTube or on their Justin TV channel because they keep VODs of all the matches that they've been covering the whole event. So if you miss some of this, I mean, you cannot ignore White Raz and Idras and TLOs and Nadas and so on. Just take a look at it. It's easy. Just IC Cup StarCraft on YouTube to go for a search, or on Justin TV, look for the IC Cup channel. It's all there. Okay, now, for results. As you can see, Jinro defeated by MC. As you guys know, both of these guys live together. They get along quite well as well. Though we do see MC playing a lot and practicing a lot with Huck. I guess they just share the same race, so they share the same interests. But still, we have two housemates here facing, but MC just had a clear win. Nada losing tomorrow. Very good result tomorrow, in my modest opinion. Go Sweden, Sebastian. Yeah, go Sweden.
Go Sweden.
And you had Genius getting defeated by Love TT.
Yeah, Love TT, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if all of you remember Love TT, but he's a Brood War veteran.
Yeah.
He was very well known. I mean, the guy played on World Cyber Games, and he was probably one of the most well-known Chinese players. And he's now playing in StarCraft 2. I think I even casted some games of him back a while ago. Yeah, quite a while ago. And then we have Liquid Yellow getting defeated by Love CD. Okay, Love TT and Love CD are not the same person. I'm not sure if this is going to help, but for whoever followed Warcraft 3, Love CD is the brother of Sky. Sky was at a certain moment, he was the #1 player of playing Warcraft 3 in China, like best of the best. And this is his brother now playing, and as you can see, defeated TLO 2-0. So congrats to him. Then day 2.
Yep, go for it.
Yeah, we have Idra defeating Grandpa Toss.
Ooh, I want Wytra to win.
Not good. Not the best thing in my modest opinion. I was rooting for Wytra. I'm not a hater from Hydra. I actually like the guy and I think he's a solid Zerg player. But on this case, I like Wytra. I was rooting for him, but Hydra had a solid win here, 2-0. Then you had Demaga facing Todd. Another guy, Todd is another guy that I'm waiting for him to show up on the scene. You know, he's just not having that much visibility, and I remember he was an old legend back in the days. Then we had Xiao T, Envy Xiao T, facing against Sun Zenith, now known as Hoseo Sun. 2-1, so congrats to the Chinese player. They're actually doing fairly well there, as you can see. And Cho getting defeated by Ace. 2-0, I mean, it's a clear win there. I think that Cho needs to get a couple more wins. Maybe on one of the next Dream Hacks would be nice. He would be playing at home, could show his skills. Yeah, would be interesting. Wouldn't have any lag issues. Think that might be something to see in the future. Now, who wants to comment here on the round of 8, day 1?
I'm going to pass the mic to Sebastian, so why don't you take it away, Sebastian, and comment on the round of 8 for us.
All right, I shall. As you have heard before, I've always been a great supporter of the Star Wars tournament, and I've casted several of the replays that's been leaked out of it. And I'm just always a fan of these events. I remember it from Brood War, where it used to be one of the highlights of the year, because we didn't have that many events that weren't strictly Korean, and there was a slight chance a foreigner could take a game off a Chinese or even a Korean player if they went over and ate some bad food and had a bad day of playing or somewhat. So Star Wars always has a special place in my heart. So looking at the round of 8, and I believe you got it on screen now as well.
Yes, I do.
Yes, OGSMC facing Startail Ace. And Startail Ace, of course, won IEM Hanover, right? It was in Hanover, the one in Germany recently. And he ruffle stomped that group. So in this PvP, OGSMC, being the Kratos, the one who rips nerds' arms off, did just that with Startail Ace, and he advances to the live event in Shanghai, China, which is a nice city, by the way. If anyone wants to go there, I can recommend a hostel just in the middle. I've been there. They make a nice hamburger for foreigners.
Hamburger. July must be operating there.
Well, it might not actually be ham, but it's close enough. And then we saw MTW Demaga being defeated by the homeboy of the event, Love CD, who Hydra went into. I do actually remember that name from the old Warcraft 3 days as well. And, as Ukrainian menaces go, Demaga always has a special place in my heart. Him and Wytra, of course, they compete about the title. Who's the biggest Uk main menace, and clearly none of them were threatening enough this time, so we'll see an Asian exclusive showdown here, but of course we do have a few more matches to go, so hopefully we get to see some foreign action of some sort in the final in Shanghai. That would be quite cool. And I can assure you that the Star Wars tournament in future years and months will become bigger and hopefully get the recognition it deserves. It is a spectacular event, and it has always been so.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be definitely checking out the VODs if I missed any of the games, and I'm really looking forward to that live event in Shanghai. That's going to be... it's going to be something really interesting and really cool to watch. So, guys, definitely show Star Wars the love it really deserves, because it's a great event and lots of amazing players here. And I'm not sure why it's not getting as much love. Maybe just getting pushed aside by some of the other spotlight or tournaments in the spotlight.
It didn't get much visibility, you know. He needs like a big poster of it in the front of Team Liquid and some big casters, some of the casters that gather up most people to mention it. I mean, if some of the big names would just mention it, oh, go check Star Wars, they would have a lot more people, a lot more viewers. And just to tease you guys, in 4 hours, about 4 hours, you're going to have Star Wars Round of 8 Day 2 on. And the 2 matches that are going to be played are Hydra versus Xiao T, the Chinese guy, and Moro versus Love TT. It's the 2 matches that are set for today. I'm going to link the link to the live stream, and you also have the VODs there if you guys want to check it out later on. I know that I'm not going to miss those 2 matches, that's for sure. And it's going to be in 4 more hours or so, and it's going to be on. I'm going to post it here while I pass the word to the Iceman again.
Yeah, and speaking of events that are going to be streamed, don't miss out on the IPL stream that's going to be going up here in a couple hours, I believe. So,
Is it 2 hours, Iceman? Something like that?
yeah, I believe it's a couple hours, 2 hours from now. But yeah, check out the qualifiers that are going to be going on. And then once you're done with that, go get your fill from the Stars Wars, excuse me. That's going to be taking place because some big names, big matchups there. And I wish I could tune into the Morrow versus Love TT match because I would really love to see that. But I'm going to go see a baseball game. But yeah, but let's move on to something on Sebastian's home turf. And he's been keeping his special announcement bottled up long enough, so we want to let him run loose and go crazy here. Because he has some special announcements to make about the DreamHack Summer Tournament that's going to be going on here. And if you guys remember anything about the DreamHack Invitational that took place, that was just insanity, and the level of quality was through the roof. So, I mean, the list of players is longer here. We have just a gigantic list of superstar players, and even more special, we're going to have one of our own at the event streaming live for us. But I'll let you take the mic right now, Sebastian, and you tell everybody what's going on.
Thank you, Iceman. Yes, indeed. Today I got confirmation from a representative from the National Swedish Broadcasting Company asking me whether I wanted to co-cast the StarCraft 2 section of the DreamHack Summer event. And that is, of course, a great honor, deserving of a GG. Hydra, can you help me out?
Well, yeah, I'm going to get one here.
Get that GG
people
so we can all get this going.
People are used to listen this from DJ Wheat, but I got one as well. Check it out.
GG! All right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. So yes, indeed, these are all very happy news. So just to clarify, I will be I will be co-casting together with a partner of mine who has his own YouTube channel. He's called the Ominius String, and I'll write that in the chat. He is probably the best commentator of StarCraft 2 in the Swedish language, and I met him at the previous DreamHack, but then of course there was a completely different production company in charge of the whole affair, and perhaps less qualified commentators, because they had a commentating duo for all the games, and obviously that impacted on the quality of the casting and the whole production. And whilst I can see the point from a production perspective of doing so, this new company that's in charge of this process has decided to go in a completely different direction. They get 2 commentators per esport that are all experts at that game and at their particular niche, and that's me and this guy, Ominius String, who's a very talented commentator, and we'll be doing it in Swedish for Swedish TV and Swedish online TV. So if you live in Sweden, you can tune in to DreamHack, and you'll see my handsome face and hear this voice that you're so familiar with. These are epic news indeed, and GG Rated will be represented at DreamHack Summer.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And is it safe to say that we might get a little bit of exclusive content for GG Rated from your happenings over there, or what?
It's safe to say that that will definitely happen. GG Rated will be mentioned, and things will be mentioned on GG Rated afterwards that will not be mentioned anywhere else. Exclusive as it gets, gentlemen.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about. We swing that kind of lumber. We got Sebastian over there in the field working for us.
Indeed you do.
But gentlemen, let's talk about the player list we have here, because we have an epic field of players. I was just reviewing some of the names here. We have a nice collection of players all the way from Korea. We have guys from Sweden representing the home turf. We have Idra here, guy from North America, bad boy, hopefully going to stir up some things. I mean, I'm recognizing faces such as Grubby is going to be here, Brett. It's gonna be off the hook, man, and I'm gonna be cheering for my Finnish boy Nama though. So
yeah,
gotta stay true.
Well, I love the lineup, and they're still missing a lot of people there, as you can see. For now, we're lacking a bit on the North American side. You know, the big reference is Idra. We have Huck as well, but there's not that many players from the North American servers yet. I mean, there's still plenty of spots to fill in. I'm pretty sure you're going to get some more. But it's just huge. I mean, the lineup is tremendous. We're going to have some epic matches coming out of this event. And if this DreamHack Summer is going to be anything close to the DreamHack Invitational that we had before,
Oh
that in my
man,
modest opinion had the finest production values I ever saw,
yeah.
and the hosting and the casting was just awesome. If it's anything similar to that, it's going to be brilliant. I'm just going to sit down and watch the whole thing 8 hours in a row if required, if necessary.
Oh man, yeah, my brain's gonna fry if it's anything even close to the quality we had from the last one. And just by the list of players here, I'm already going nuts, man. And we got Sebastian over there. All right, I'm done. Close it, shut it down, dude.
Yeah, that's going to be epic, and of course, it's a great honor to be representing StarCraft 2. Becoming a face of it, not just a voice, and to stepping out of the established community to do something outside the boundaries that we all operate in, that we're all very comfortable in. Sure, I have never hidden that I want to do what I do here with StarCraft as close to a profession as I can, and try to find entrepreneurial aspects of that as well. Never letting go of the passion, but I want to combine this love I feel for StarCraft with ways of making a living if possible, and this is a small way towards that. But above all of that, it's just so great to be able to physically represent a subculture that I know so many more people would enjoy if they only got a good window into it. And I hope to provide that to some degree. It's going to be epic, and I'll talk to all of you about that here on GD-rated once it's over.
Definitely.
Cool.
Epic news, guys. I'm gonna mark this on my calendar, and I'm definitely looking forward to this because I can't get enough of what happens over there in Sweden in the DreamHack events. But speaking about Swedish news, TLO has recently been doing his live stream for charity, and Sebastian has actually been involved in that a little bit. Maybe not really involved, but he's been in contact with the people going on there. And I actually tuned into the charity live stream event for a while, and I was greeted by a blast of techno coming from TLO's computer, which was quite funny and interesting to listen to. But great event that he's got going on there, is it not?
Yes, indeed it is. Sure, it was nice to hear TLO listening to techno. That confirms our stereotypes about Germans, and also to hear the fact that he's still using the German StarCraft 2 client. Hearing Marines roar in German is, it feels like a bad war movie in a good way. But yes, TLO is definitely a very good entrepreneur. He uses his standing in the community, and even though he's a very talented player, I think I checked yesterday he was 47 on the European ladder. He's not winning all his matches. That is something that is clear, because he is doing so many other things like this. He raised some money for Doctors Without Borders, a very good and honorable thing, but he also raised awareness about StarCraft 2, and in particular his own involvement with the StarCraft house. He wants to build StarCraft beyond what we already know, and he's one of our finest ambassadors in doing so. Day 9 is another, but I think TLO is right up there as a sole individual who makes a general difference in terms of spreading this. And next time I'm sure it will be even better, perhaps less driven by techno.
Yeah, well, I got no problem with the techno. But
good for you.
Yeah, TLO is a wonderful guy, and as you said, he's really trying to shape and revolutionize StarCraft and push it forward to a more mainstream, broad audience. And I think what he's doing is just something that's really wonderful, so I must tip my hat to TLO. And we're going to have him on the show eventually here, it seems like.
Yes, we are.
I've been in contact with him and talking with him, so hopefully once we get all the stream stuff sorted out and we're broadcasting in maximum quality, then I guess I'll feel secure enough to have TLO on the show to join us and comment about all the amazing things that are going to be going on. But yeah, awesome event that took place, and I'm really happy to see StarCraft people in the community take up the torch and do things like this.
Yeah,
indeed.
Let me just add a short comment. Obviously, respect for TLO for doing something like this. You don't see this every day. It's also a sign that he's generous enough to take his time to help someone else. I watched bits of the stream. I haven't sat down for the whole day, as you might imagine, but I saw him just stretching a bit, having a walk, getting back, playing some more. He was just trying to be fun and amusing and enjoying his time. I know it's always a bit painful to just try to play 24/7, but he did his best, and I need to congratulate him for this effort. Maybe we're going to see more of this in the future. A small comment about the fact that TLO is not probably on top of his game at the moment. I know that he's been playing a lot of Terran, and I already mentioned this in past episodes of the GG Rated. I think it's time for him to focus on a single race. Apparently it's going to be Terran, and just take his game to the next level, because I know that TLO has what it takes to play at the highest level possible. I mean, the guy already been one of the most creative players for a very long time on StarCraft 2, and I think he can go back to that spot once more.
Definitely. He's just been extremely busy, and setting up this gamer house, I'm sure, was no small feat. But I think once he settles in there, we're going to see TLO of old come back and with renewed vigor. And I'm just waiting and looking forward to the future of TLO, because it looks bright. But
Indeed.
I think that about wraps it up for today's show. That's all the topics we have. Something that maybe I just want to quickly point out is that Greytorp's contract ran out, and he is no longer signed with his previous team. I don't know if you guys read about that.
I did, but I'm sorry. Go, Sebastian, go. I'm going to type a bit more on the chat. Go.
No, my answer was going to be no. Do continue, Iceman.
Yeah, he actually just left Fnatic MSI because his contract has expired. But hopefully we're going to see him showing up in tournaments still, and I'm sure he's going to still function and do perfectly fine. I know he's been carrying on his duties in the NASL quite a lot, and people have been enjoying that a lot. But Hydra, did you have anything that you wanted to add to that?
Well, I was just gonna say that Greytorp, I remember watching some matches of him on the early stages of StarCraft 2, but he kind of faded away, and now I look at him as a caster. A bit like Artosis, it's the feeling for me. I look at him more like a caster, and I'm one of the guys that actually like Greytorp, okay? He's not the most enthusiastic, excited caster ever, but he kind of makes a nice duo with In Control, you know, he balances with In Control, and Greytorp being awkward kind of evens out with In Control trying to be outgoing and throw jokes in the air. So yeah, it's cool. I like him. I'm not very disappointed or don't feel shocked or don't have any special feeling by the fact that Greytorp is not into that team anymore, a part of that team anymore, because I don't see him as a player anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's going to even try to come back, but I can't expect him to play at the highest level anytime soon. At least that's my opinion.
I agree.
He doesn't need to.
Yeah, I think he's pretty well set in the NASL casting role there. So I mean, as long as that keeps going strong, I'm sure he'll have something to occupy his time. But as you were saying, Hydra, if he wants to be a caster, if he wants to player, he probably has to dedicate his life to one or the other, and probably both is not going to work out very well. So I'm sure that has something to do with the reason he's leaving Fnatic MSI. But that's it for this week's news, and I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the GGRated.net live show. Super big shout out to everybody over at Rush Zone. Awesome group of guys, and they've actually been helping us tweak our stream, and we're moving up there with hits and viewers, it sounds like. So when things get smoothed out, we're going to have even more special guests on here. We have a lineup that we're setting up, and it's going to be epic, so big shout out to them, lots of love. Check them out, guys, because they're growing, and there's some amazing things that we're working on that are going to come out eventually. So big things in the works behind the scenes that people might not be aware of. But once it happens, it's going to be epic. And dude, Sebastian, man, we're going to be looking for you in the DreamHack event. So this show
I'll
is
be
nothing but
looking
epic.
right at you back. With shout outs.
Definitely. But thanks everybody who tuned in. Spread the love. Tell your friends. Check out Hydra's channel. That's youtube.com/xhydrax, I believe. And also check out Sebastian, GG Vision, and his GG Coliseum. He's doing some shoutcasting now. That's youtube.com/polygonreview, and check us out on Twitter. That's twitter.com/GGrated. So tell your friends, spread the love. If you know somebody who's interested in StarCraft 2, introduce them to the VODs or the podcast, and let's get this thing even bigger than before. So great to have Hydra back on the show today. Thanks everybody who tuned in, and that's the Heist Man signing out. GG.
GG, guys. Oh yeah, GG. See ya, people.
Peace. All right, guys.
Do we know if the stream is lagging or if they're...
No, just awesome. Like 1 second delay. It
Turn
was
it
awesome.
off. We're good.
Yeah.